Minutes. Okay, Hilchos Tefillin. Ice Dalid. Yesterday, I think I typed the word wrong. Don't know where on the tefillin to put it. So by the neck, I think I translated it as the end of the spine.
The hairline.
It really means the brain. It really means the brain. I can't find it out. Okay, Sif Dalid. So Manichanas at tefillin mu'umad. You're supposed to put on tefillin standing. Svardim, as we know, put the shel yad on sitting. The shel rosh they stand, but Ashkenazim for the most part put the tefillin on standing. Lo yinaras tefillin and atik. You shouldn't shake the tefillin out of the bag. Mishum biza mitzvah, because that's a biza of the mitzvah. Now you take them out with yasmin. You don't turn over the bag and drop out the tefillin. Take them out properly. First you put on the shel yad. And before you tie it on, before you tighten the knot, you make the bracha l'niach tefillin. Hahei bekamatz, v'halamid shel tefillin degusha, right? Tefillin, like we said. Then you tighten it. Then you make 7 wrappings on the hand. Okay, there are different minhagim, usually more nusach sfard chasidim, who wrap it a few times above the arm. Okay, whatever it is. Fine. And then you have to put on the shorosh immediately. The condition al rosh before you tighten it on the head. Mevarich al mitzvah tefillin, avav bepasach, right? Mitzvah tefillin. Umahatkan al rosha, and then you tighten it. V'aymer baruch shem k'vod machzor l'omed. Then you say baruch shem. Why? Atam shetzarach lemer baruch shem k'vod machzor l'omed. U'mepnei sheyesh safek b'bracha zois. There's a suffix whether you should be making the bracha on the shorosh. So we say Baruch Shem Kvod in order, like we learned last week, that when you make a suffix brachas, or you make a bracha levatala, then you say Baruch Shem right away. So so now that there's a suffix of a bracha, so now it comes out a chiddush that if there's a suffix on the bracha, so you're not supposed to answer amen to a suffix brachas. Right? So again, it's best not to say the bracha on the shorosh out loud. Say it quietly so they won't get into that shayla. But if you do hear it, then l'chari you should make amen. After you put on the shorosh, then with the ritzua shel yad, you write shalosh krichas ala etzba hamtzayis. You wrap 3 times around the middle finger. Achas v'perak hamtzay, 1 in the middle knuckle, shtayim v'perak hatachta, and 2 on the lower one. Also, those minhagim vary how you exactly supposed to do that. Now, there's a trick that he doesn't say here. So the 7, meaning the way you do it, you put the shel yad, and then you wrap 7 times around the arm. Then you don't wrap around the fingers because that's a hefsek. And then you put on the shorosh, then you go do the fingers. If you're running late and you're going to miss Yehei Shmei Rabbah or Amen, because we said yesterday that you're not allowed to answer Amen. I think we said it yesterday, right? You're not allowed to answer Amen between the shel yad and the shorosh. So then you just wrap it once around the arm, and then you can go put on the shorosh straight. So there's less of a hefsek if you're going to miss, Baruch Hu or Yehei Shmei Rabbah, etc. Fine. Hey, even if it happens that you took out the shorosh first. So we learned that when you're supposed to put the talus on first and then the tefillin, because one is tader, one is not tader. But if you put on the tefillin first, or you took out the tefillin first by mistake, then you put the tefillin on before the talus. So that we learned yesterday. But here, you're supposed to put on the shel yad first and then the shorosh. So you're supposed to really pull out the shel yad. So one b'yein mabir ala mitzvahs. Right? So tzarich lahaver ala mitzvah, but here you have to pass over the mitzvah. Meaning, if you took out the shorosh first, you don't put on the shorosh. You have to pass over the mitzvah. You put down the shalrosh. You cover it over because you don't want. I'm assuming because you don't want the bracha to go on that. Then tchila shalyad, and then you put on the shalyad. Why? The kivan the kedima shalyad l'shalrosh u'minat Torah, because it's a pasuk in the Torah that says the shalyad goes on first. So the order is you put it on your arm first and then on your head. We're not worried about ein mavir ala mitzvahs because it's more important to keep what it says in the Torah than this rule of ein mavir ala mitzvahs. Fine. You should have nothing, no chatzitza between the tefillin and the basar. Loishna shel yad, loishna shel rosh. Doesn't make a difference whether it's the shel yad or the shel rosh. Now, what he's referring to here on the shel yad is not the entire length of the arm. He's referring to the part that goes around just the muscle in the upper part of the arm. Meaning, if somebody has a cast on his arm, so you just put the 7 wrappings around the arm or an IV or anything like that.
I've seen people wear like their watches. They don't take off their watches. That's
right. So Me'ikar Adin, there's no reason to take off the watch. But I think the Mishnah Brura maybe says that you should take off the watch. But the Me'ikar Adin is not a problem. Fine. Musa'aris Kitzaris le'havin chatzitza, and small hairs are not a chatzitza. That's the regular derech to grow hair there. But those that grow what we call chups, right, long hair, milvachu derech shachatz v'gaiva. Besides that, it's disgusting and it's gaiva. Yesh v'zeh iser, and there's also an iser. The iser is by looking like a guy. You're gonna have an iser because anachas tefillin. The kivan should be dailam harbe, since they're very long. Having chatzitza, it's a chatzitza. Why? Because if it's so long, why isn't it? It's part of the body. Why is it a chatzitza? Because it's going to be cut off. So we have a rule that says kala oimed lekatz dummy. Anything that's ready to get cut off is considered as if it's already cut off. That's why nails that are long for the mikvah have to be cut, etc., etc. So that's the problem with the chatzitza of having long hair. Zayin yizar b'tefillah shel yad shelo yozez hakesher min habayis. So this you have to be careful with. Actually, I had this problem with my tefillin and I didn't realize it. By your tefillin shel yad, the kesher has to be touching the bayis, meaning that knot, the yud, what looks like a yud, has to be touching the bayis. That's why a lot of tefillin have that little string that's tied onto that yud to pull it close to the bias. All right, and then here's the big chiddush. So we understand you need the yud attached to the bias when you're wearing the tefillin, but it says v'gam. I mean, it's in brackets by me. V'gam kishein b'soy kisan tzrichin l'zavazeh. The thing is the Kabbalah, and even when it's in, meaning don't think, okay, the yud of the tefillin, it won't be attached, but I'll put my sleeve over it so it'll attach it when I'm wearing it. No, even in the bag, the yud of the tefillin should be connected to the shel yad. Right? So you gotta be careful with that, which is again why they have these strings around it. By yud shel kesher tiyeh letzad alev, and the yud of the kesher should be towards the heart. Hamavarta sheba retzua, and the mavarta, that's the we called it a tunnel. The tunnel that the strap goes through that holds the tefillin onto the arm. Tia letzad maila, v'abayis letzad mata. That part should be on the upper arm, and the actual box should be facing down. All right. I'm saying we put on tefillin every day, so I'm assuming everybody understands this. With shasat chak, but let's say it's a shasat chak. We're going to eat there like a lefty shumanir biyamin. Va'ata ain't like tefillin elash, meaning normally a lefty puts tefillin on his right arm. Now he doesn't have his tefillin for whatever reason. Elash shulin memisha maniach b'small, so only has his tefillin that he could borrow from somebody who's a righty who puts it on his left hand. You can't change the kesher, meaning you can theoretically, if you know what you're doing, you could change the knot to the other side, but most people can't do that. So what's your option? It's you can't put it on the wrong hand. That's no good. So How important is it? What's more important, that the mavarta, the part that has the strap going through, should be on the upper side of the arm, or is it more important that the yud should be touched going next to the heart?
But you flip it, no?
So that's a yeah. So vim kain im yaniach tefillin ba'ofen zeh hamavarta letzad ma'ila v'bayis letzad mata. Then the mavarta is going to be facing up, and the bayis is letzad mata. But then tia yud im hakesher letzad chutz. Then the yud is going to be on the outside. Okay, yafach. That's what you do, like Jesse said. You flip it, yanicha, and then you put it on shemavarta tia letzad mata. That the side that has the ritzua going through it will be facing the bottom, the bias letzad mala, and the bias will be facing up. Kedei shetia hayud v'akesher letzad alev, so that the yud and the knot will be next to the heart. So, in the priority of things, the yud being close to the heart is much more of a priority than the mavarta being on the upper part of the arm. Okay, ches. Also lahafsik b'sicha bein shayad l'shorosh. Also, I'm sorry. I thought we had this already. We were having it tonight. So also, you're not allowed to talk between the shalyan and the shorosh. Even to make with your eyes, but to snap with your fingers. Also, you have to remember what it's between your eyes. You need to remember. The schira needs to be immediately after putting on the shorosh. Immediately after shalyad, you put on the shorosh without any hefsek. It should be sort of like one placing, meaning you want the shalyad and the shorosh to go on as close a time as possible. And even if you hear kaddish or kedusha, then you shouldn't be mafsik. You shouldn't answer. You be quiet and you listen to what the Kehillah says. So that's what I was saying before. That if you're stuck in that situation, then don't wrap the tefillin around your arm 7 times, because you're gonna end up missing kaddish. You're gonna end up missing baruch Hu. So just wrap it once, and then put on the shorosh. Right? However, if somebody next to you is saying the bracha v'laniach tefillin, yachal someone on that bracha, you're allowed to answer amen. Why? Sharei amen hu ha'monas hadvarim shu maimed mitzvahs tefillin. When you say amen, right? So you're saying amen that you believe in whatever it is the bracha that person is making. So if you're answering amen that you believe in the mitzvah of tefillin, so that's what you're busy with. So that is not a hefsek. It's considered all part of one havaya, one part of one placing. But tefillin to Rabbeinu Tam gamkein also lahafsek. So at the Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin, which you don't make a bracha on, so you think you should be able to talk, or those that put on tefillin on Chol Hamoed, and most don't make a bracha, so you think you should be able to talk between putting on the shalyan and the shorosh. No, we don't do that. But for kaddish and kedusha, for Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin, or if you're putting on a Chol Hamoed, then that you are allowed to be mafsik. Fine, test. Let's say you did make the mistake and you talked, or you answered amen, or whatever it is. You mashmish b'shalyad. What you should do is you move the shalyad, out of place, and then move it back. V'yivarech shenis l'niyach tefillin, and then make another bracha l'niyach tefillin. V'yichazik is a kesher, and then tighten the knot. V'achakach yiniyach shorosh, then put on the shorosh. V'yivarech ala, and then make a bracha. V'im hifzik l'tzarech ha-tefillin, but if you made a hefsik for the tefillin, then you don't have to make a bracha shenis because it wasn't really a hefsek. Same way that you could say pass the salt after you wash, because it's part of the suda. It's the same thing. If you talked about the tefillin, then it's okay. Yud yicham manochas tefillin. So what is the kavana when you put on tefillin? All right, and it could be ma'akev. It's mitzvah strichas kavana by deraisa. So what is the kavana? So Yichavim ba'anochas tefillin shetzivanu HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'niach tefillin sheyesh b'hem arba parshias, that Hashem told us to put on tefillin that has in it 4 parshias. Shekasa ben Yichud Shemai Yisparach, right? The biyachad Hashem Shema v'yitzias Mitzrayim al azroya keneged alev, on the arm next to the heart, v'al harosh keneged hamayach, and on the head next to the brain. So that we constantly remember all the wonders Hashem did for us Shehem Moirim al Yehuda, because that shows that Hashem is the only one. Vasher lo yakayach v'mamshal, and He has all the strength and rulership. Vel yoinim in the upper worlds, the tachtonim in the lower worlds. Lasses k'ritzoni, to do whatever He wants. So that's what you're supposed to have in mind when you put on the tefillin. And then v'yishabed le'as neshama, and then you're mashabed to Hashem, meaning you're accepting on yourself avdus shiba mayach in the brain, begam halev shu ikar taivas v'machshavas, and in the heart, which is where the ikar desire and thoughts come from. And then, if you think that, then you'll remember your Creator, who He was, and then you're gonna limit your hanos, because hanos are selfish. We're only supposed to do in this world what Hashem wants us to do. Be Mekayim, and then you be Mekayim that you won't follow after your heart or after your eyes. That's why it says by the tefillin should be beinei necha, because you don't want to follow your eyes. Fine, Yud Aleph tefillin shel yad b'shal roish. Shtei mitzvahs ein beinam akav zu zu. So the tefillin shel yad and shal roish are two different mitzvahs, and they're not ma'akav. Sheim ein lo ela achas. Let's say you only have one. Like let's say the broken arm, or somebody had head surgery, whatever it is, and totally bandaged up. You only put on one. You put on one. But if you're putting on the shorosh, then you make two brachas. Okay, hopefully nobody will ever know about it, but this shaila does get asked fairly, not often, Baruch Hashem, but just had somebody who has a pick line going in his upper arm, and he said there's no way he can put the tefillin on over there, even above it. It's gonna be too painful. So okay, so he just puts on the shorosh. What are you gonna do? Yud Beis Iter Gomer, a legitimate lefty. Afilu nasa iter machos shehirgulas atzmikein. Even if he became a lefty because he forced himself to become a lefty, which the Chassidim do the other way. If Chassidim see that the kid is a lefty, they force the kid to become a righty, from what I understand, right? Still, you always, if that's your strong hand, then you put it on the right of everybody, which is his left. Let's say you do all your malachas with your right hand, and you'd only write with your left, or the opposite. The hand that you write with is considered the right hand, and you put the tefillin biyadai hashni on the second hand. I wonder if this applies nowadays, that we write a lot less. Meaning back then writing was important, but nowadays it's not, and everybody texts with their thumbs. So I don't know if that I don't know how that goes. Let's say he's ambidextrous, so he rules over both hands. Then you put it on the left of everybody. I mean, you put it on like a righty. And let's say you were not born a lefty, but just afterwards you made yourself learn how to write with the left hand, and you do everything else with your right hand. Then you put it also on the left of everybody. I'm not sure why he seems to be repeating this. All right, but the point is that by the default is that you put it on the left hand, because that's what most people do, unless you're very clear-cut a lefty. So nowadays you have the kids that do some things. They eat with the left hand. They sometimes write with the left hand. It becomes a whole headache exactly how to figure that out. Okay, we'll stop over there. Everybody should have themselves a fine night.